Close ka lang po yung isa. Okay. So balikan ko po si Photoshop. I'll click on File. I'll click Open. Yan. So wala na po tayo kay animated GIF. Nandun na po tayo kay ID. So I'll click on Open for my ID. And there's an ID sample here. I'll just need to open this one. Commonly kasi ang mga schools, meron na po tayong mga preferred design ng ID bago pa natin sila giwan. Okay? Halimbawa, ganito lang kasimple yung ID na gusto ko. Ito. Commonly, it's either kayo yung gagawa for the school or the school already have a format and gusto lang nilang ipagawa sa inyo yung ID. Sir, gusto ko pong gumawa ng 1,500 IDs for my students, including their picture, the registration number, the course, gender, the name. Also, I would like to include barcode para po mas maganda yung ID. At the same time, pwede po siyang gumana sa mga barcode processing software natin. Ito lang po yung kadalasan ginagawa. We might wonder, kasi commonly po, I'll just need to check. Okay po ba ang aking presentation sa inyong screen? Check ko lang po Hello po, Sir Ed. I just want to check. Okay lang po kayo yung presentation ko sa screen ng ating participants? Nakikita po yung aking Photoshop? Okay, sir. Sige pa. Continue po ako. Technically, this is my ID. For example, there's a prepared layout already. Pero just in case wala, gumawa ka ng layout mo ng ID. Now, the problem is how are you going to transfer the files na bigay ng school para po may lipat nyo sa ID at ma-print? Halimbawa po, this one. In our ID, we have here 1, 2, 3 as their pictures. We also have the record. Ang laman po ng record when you open this, ay yung information ng mga bata. So kahit madami po siya or kakonti, ang process po natin is basically the same. Okay, I'll just need to check the content of the record. Now, while opening my Excel file, I hope lahat po ay na-open din po yung file. Sige po, ayan. Kindly check your file if you do have the same information as the one na meron po ako. So it's the registration number, the name, the gender, the course, the photo, and the barcode. Okay, Pastor Master, bakit po yung barcode namin are just text? Okay, that's fine po. Later on, it will be converted into barcode. Not necessarily kailangan po yung barcode. However, just in case gusto nyo, magagamit po natin to. Okay, so balikan ko lang po siya. Okay na po kayo. Registration name, gender, course, photo, or barcode. Kung wala man pong barcode, it's basically copy and paste lang po dito. Okay. So, already have the complete details coming from the school. Okay, ako mismo, kung ICT coordinator ako, I was tasked to create the ID of the students, which is medyo mabigat. Pag alam niyo po ito, medyo dadali ng konti yung trabaho niyo. So you ask for the details and then let's start creating the ID. So probably this is just a sample ID na meron na po ako. Inopen ko lang po siya para hindi tayo masyadong magtagal dito. Okay, so you have the ID here. I have here the background. Okay, background. Double click ko lang po yung background para po ma-unlock po siya. So I have here the ID. Then I'll create a new layer. Image, a layer, new layer. Okay. Like that one. So you have here the ID and the second one is a blank layer. So what I will be doing here, sundan po natin na maayos ha. Punta po ako dito kay Market Tool. Okay pa. So using that Market Tool, meron na po akong size doon na gusto ko na ilagay. Pero since I'll be using A4, para sigurado ako na hindi siya ma-deform yung image when it's inserted. So di po ba, it's 3.5. by 4.5. Okay, so ito yun. Pag sinet niyo po siya into fixed ratio, o, at naglagay po kayo ng ganyang klase ng proportion, kapag nag-drag po kayo, automatically po, yan, kung napansin nyo, hindi po siya nadi-deform. Lagi po siyang naka-fixed ratio dun sa 3.5 by 4.5. So, for example, I already have selected this one. Ilalagay ko lang po ang aking cursor sa gitna. Di ba? Cursor sa gitna, i-right-click, and then I'll click on stroke. Ulit sa gitna, right-click, click on stroke. Normally, it's 5 pixel ang selected. Color po, it depende sa gusto nyo. I think I'll go for black. So I'll click on the color and choose the color I want. I'll click on OK. So technically, kung napansin nyo po, meron na po akong layer na, ayan. Yan lang po yan. Isang box for the ID position ng picture ng bata. Now, I'll be typing something here. So dito po, ang kailangan kong i-type is the name of the students. So I'll go for the type tool. Okay, dito po sa type tool, ida-drag ko po siya dito. Ayan. And I would like it to be name. Kung napansin niyo po, sir, ba't barcode po yung lumabas? Kasi po, ang selected type ko po is yung free, yung pina-install ko po sa inyo, yung free 3 of 9. So what I need to do is to change it to something dito po sa taas, sa aking font style. Change it to something readable kasi this is a name. Gusto ko madali siyang mabasa. I'll go for, ano ba maganda? I'll go for impact. Okay. This one. And so it will change it to this. Kung ano po yung appearance nyo dyan, yun po yung appearance na magiging pangalan ng bata. So I would like it to be capitalized, all caps, and put it here at the center, right above this one. Kung ayaw nyo yung kulay blue, highlight nyo lang po yung text. With type tool selected, highlight nyo yung text, i-change the color. You want it black, you choose black. Okay? I'll click on OK. So I already have the name here. Tatype lang po ulit ako. Gagawin ko lang po. Ito po sa registration number, medyo maliit po siya. Right? So papalitan ko na po ng size. Masyado malaki. So I think I'm good with 12. Depende po sa ating size na gusto. So what I would like to register here is the registration number that is on my list. So punta po ako dito, gusto ko po na dito po siya, align left po siya. Para pag mahaba po yung registration number, papunta po siya sa kanan instead na ma-center. Okay. So meron na po akong registration. I'll close this one for a while. Ayan. So meron na po akong registration. What I'll do next, kung gusto ko po is parehas lang siya nung sa susunod kong gagawin. Di po ba may reg na dito? Ayan. Alt-click. Alt nyo po sa on your keyboard.
Ayan. So, ang unang ating house rule is...
Po na konti ha.
Ayan.
Ayan. Di po ba registration number? I would like it to be positioned here. Nag-type lang po ako. Instead of me creating a new type, since gusto ko ganito yung format, i-duplicate ko na lang po siya. So, Alt on your keyboard, click on the text and drag. Ayan. So this one, tapos na po tayo sa registration. Course, ang gusto ko po course is, course, syempre yung term. I-click po yung text, double click ko po. Yan. And I'll type course. Okay. I have here the course. And I'll click, Alt, and click para po makopy siya dun sa gender. So I'll go for gender. Edit ko lang po, gender. Ayan. So meron na po tayong name, registration, course, and then gender. And for example, you would like to encode barcode here. Type lang po ako dito. Yan, medyo malaki po siya. Kasi commonly, kailangan mas madali siyang makita. Kasi i-scan siya ng system. I'll type barcode here. Barcode. Ayan. So once type, gusto ko nasa center po siya and medyo malaki. So I have here the barcode. And so napansin po natin, ito lang po yung ginawa ko. Naglagay po ako ng box dun sa box mismo for the picture. Nag-type po ako ng name dito, ng registration course, gender, and then also type barcode. Para po siya ay magpalit into barcode. Okay, this barcode is to be selected. Right-click. Okay, click on the type tool. You select barcode. Kung nababasa nyo, barcode siya. Pero dito po, meron po tayong font ng barcode. Click nyo lang po. Yung pina-install ko po sa inyo kanina, it's yung free something. Yan po ba yan? Free 3 of 9 extended. When I click on this one, yan. Napansin niyo po, i-convert niya yung aking text into a barcode. Definitely, ito po yung mababasa ng ating mga barcode scanners. So magpapalit din po siya ng information depende po sa kung anong ilalagay niyo sa kanya. So we already have the name, the box, the registration, the course, the gender, and definitely we also have here the barcode. So what I'll be doing next is this. Babalikan ko po sa Excel ko. Ayan, punta po kayo kay Excel. Ang gagawin po natin is i-convert natin ang Excel into something that will be recognized by the system. Okay, so in this case po, ang Excel file po ay hindi siya basta-basta ma-recognize ng ating system kasi po siya is an Excel file. So convert it into pure text. So what I'll be doing is, yes, set up ko lang po ito. Ayan. So file, save as. On the same folder, I'll be using the same file or file name. Hindi ko po papalitan yung record. Okay, kung napansin niyo po, may Excel file po ako ng record. Pero ang gusto ko po, yung file type, okay, please take note of this. Yung record po is an Excel file, pero papalitan niyo po siya into something na mababasa, which is text tab delimited. Okay, ulit po yung file, save as. Instead of Excel workbook, you go for text tab delimited. Same record or same file name. I'll click on save. Okay. I'll close this one. Hindi ko nila po siya isa-save kasi po wala naman po akong ginalaw sa kanya. So babalikan ko lang po to. So kung medyo mabilis po, ang ginawa ko lang po, gumawa po ako ng box dito, then nilagyan ko lang po sila ng pangalan. Okay, now, there are instances wherein some fonts will not be readable to some scanners. And if that happened, for example, may mga readable fonts po sa lahat ng mga scanners na available po sa The Font Online at thefont.com, that is DAFONT.com. So there are some barcodes there that are available. O kaya naman po, ang ginagawa natin, nag-generate na rin po tayo ng barcode, saving it as a picture. Tapos yun po yung ating ina-attach. Ano pa? This one is working on my computer for a while. So I'll be using this, but just in case naka-encounter po kayo na yung barcode po ay hindi kumana sa inyong some scanners, I suggest you look for another barcode or a barcode generator para po dito sa task na to. Okay po? For the meantime, I'll be using this one. So I'll go back to my screen. And then for school name, wala po akong nilagay. For year and section, that's default. Papunta po ako dito sa aking image. Okay, sa image ko po may options po tayo for variables. Okay po, then I'll click on define. Okay, kung mapapansin nyo po, kung ano yung mga naka-type nyo po sa gilid na yun, yung mga text na tinype nyo kanina, ito po yung lalabas doon. Kaya meron po tayong konting problema. Cancel ko lang po saglit ha. Okay, yung first layer ko po, this one, ito po yung photo. Layer 1, tanda ko po siya para po mas maliwanag lang po sa inyo. Hindi kayo malito, double click nyo lang po yung pangalan, gawin nyo na po siyang photo. Para alam nyo, yun na, yung area na yun is intended for photo. So I just rename it. Okay po, babalikan ko lang po ulit. Image. I'll go for my variables and I'll define. Ano po yung i-define ko? Yung first one po, yung ginawa kong photo, yan ito. Ano po ang i-place, ang i-replace ko sa kanya? Pixel replacement. Ano po ang aking nasa data? So sa aking Excel file, na nakalagay doon for pictures is actually photo. So yun yung babasahin niya. And another one, click nyo po itong arrow sa gilid. Ayan, ito. Next and previous. Sa layer 0 po, wala tayong gagalawin kasi ito po yun. Siya mismo po yung ID. Next one, I have here the barcode. So text replacement, it will be changed by a barcode. However, kung ang ginawa nyo pong barcode or pictures, so instead of text replacement, it will be pixel replacement. Okay, for the barcode, next we have gender. I'll replace it with gender. Next, same process po ulit. Next po ulit. Course, I replace it with course. And this time, registration, I'll replace it with the same, reg. And next, name. Next replacement, name. So saan ang gagaling yung mga nire-replace dyan? Ito po yung mga headings kanina na nasa Excel file. Okay po. Ang ginamit ko po is same na para po hindi ko siya malimutan. So kung ano po yung nalabas doon, hindi rin po ginagamit ko replacement kasi yun rin po yung nasa Excel. So I'll click on another one again for photo. It's good already. And I'll click on, okay. Yeah. So once na-define na po natin yung variables natin for photo, name, the registration, the course, the gender, and the barcode, the next thing is to replace it with the one from our file. So I'll go back. My image. I'll go back to my variables. Kanina po, define lang yung nakikita natin. But since we were able to define the variables, lalabas na po yung datasets. I-click nyo po yung datasets. There. It will be asking you for the file. Nasaan po yung file? Kanina, di ba, isinave as natin yung Excel file into text tab delimited para mabasa siya ng system. So I'll click on import. I'll look for file, import files, and that's my record file. Okay? I'll click on load. And I'll click OK. Yan. Kung napansin nyo po, nagkameron ng information dito. So ano pong ginawa niya? Using my datasets, ang ginawa po niya actually is this. Ayan. Napansin niyo po ba? Halimbawa si Jane de la Cruz, ito yung data niya na naandun sa record ninyo. Ito naman po yung data to ko po. Ayan. Automatically po, nire-replace niya po siya. And yung third datasets ko po, ito po sila. Ayan. So, lahat ng informations po nila ay nagbabago. Depende dun sa information na ibinigay po sa inyo before you start making the output. So it's again, it will give you option to create or to view it first bago nyo po siya i-save. So data 1, data set 2, I have John, I have Joe. Okay, though it's a girl, it's Joe. Kasi yun yung nasa data natin. A female, a male po, Joe, a male, DSEN, and this is registration number. Ito naman po siya, 111 na registration number. IT, it's a male, the barcode for him. And this one is the first one. The dataset one is this, Jane de la Cruz with the registration number of 222, courses PS Education, and gender is a female with her barcode at the bottom. So I'll click on apply, and then I'll click on OK. Now, the question is this, sir, paano po kung ang ginawa namin paano po ang ginawa namin is this. Well, 1,000 po yung estudyante namin. As long as the file po na binigay sa inyo or ginawa nyo is complete in information, tatlo lang po yung ginawa nating sample for the sake of ano tawag to, demonstration. But technically, if you do have other options like mas maraming ID, pwede nyo siyang gawin ng mabilisan like this. So same process lang po yung ginagawa. Sir, question. Okay, eto po. Sorry pa, hindi ko siya na-remind kanina. Ito lang po yung gagawin nyo. Though ito naman po ay working in our case kasi po nasa same folder po ako. Make sure po na ganito. Sir, how come na yung ID picture ay pumapasok po doon sa system? Make sure that all your files are on the same folder. For example, I type on ID. Kung mapapansin nyo po, si Juan ay babae. Babae po ba? Okay, check natin na. Hindi po siya mag-open kagad. Okay. This one, yan. Ito yung si Juan. Ito si 2. Ito si 3. Ang file name po nila is 3. Ang 1, 2, 3 po yung file name. Sa record po natin, kung napansin niyo ma'am and sir, sa Excel file ko po, ang record ko po dyan is 1, 2, and 3. Sir, what if gusto po namin na ang kanilang photo ay yung pangalan niya po mismo? Okay lang po yun. Just make sure that the photo file name is basically the same with the file name ng pictures po mismo na i-attach nyo. In our case, I have 1, 2, 3. Those are all JPEG file, as you can see. And kay Excel ko po, that's 1, 2, 3, all JPEG file. Kung nagkataon po na ang pangalan ng pictures ko po ay Jane, John, and Joe, instead of 1.jpg, it's Jane.jpg. Kung nagkataon it's John, it's John.jpg, and 3, it's Joe.jpg. This is how it works. Ano pa? And the barcode again, kung halimbawa, ito, I will suggest, in the future, kung siya po'y gagawin yung career, meron pong mga barcode generating program na mas madaling basahin ng mga scanners. Sometimes po, ang ina-add din po natin, if yung QR code sa ngayon, okay, kung ang na-generate yung pong code is a QR code, and you're going to save it as a picture, then definitely, you're going to create a new line having the file name of those pictures which are QR codes, and it will basically work the same. Okay pa? Pero for the meantime, sa school po, kadalasan ang ginagamit yung text converted into a barcode, and that is one that I included here. But again, for some barcode scanners, at hindi siya gumana, I suggest you look for another barcode type. But in my case, it's working on my end. Okay po. The next thing to do is, we're not yet done. Napansin niyo po, sir, isa lang po. Nasa na po yung mga files natin. So file, you go to export, okay? And datasets as files. Again file, you're going to export datasets as files. Okay, you're going to select the folder kung saan mo siya isa-save. For example, I have here the folder, my IDs, and I have here the output. There we go. So I have here the output. I'll click on OK. Then I'll click OK. Replace. So meron na po kasi siya. Save ko na siya before. Replace ko lang. Kung blanco po yung inyong yon, wala pong magiging problema. In my case, I already have some files saved there. Same output. Okay. So one good thing about that, for example, this one, this is chain. When I open the other file, open, in my output folder, we have this dataset to open. Okay. Now, kung mapapansin po natin, it's basically John the photo. This one is the photo of this one. Hindi siya nagpapatong-patong. So, gumagawa siya ng separate file para sa bawat ID. So, just in case may kailangan kang baguhin sa information sa isang ID, hindi mo kailangan maghanap sa napakaraming pictures that is basically installed in just one file. Ano po? So, I was able to create 3, open, and 3. Okay, question. Ito for advanced Photoshop users po. Some question might arise like this. Sir, bakit po, ang picture po bang yan, ay masasave siya as JPEG file or masasave siya as in Photoshop file? The answer po is it will be saved as a PSD or Photoshop file. And programs, yan, it's an ongoing discussion po with Photoshop, with Adobe, kung bakit yung picture, for example, gusto niyo na kagad siyang i-save as picture, ay dapat ganon. Kaya lang isa-save niya as a PDF file or PSD file. Kaya ang gagawin nyo, you open the file and you save it as a JPEG. Okay? Based from the discussion po, the main reason is that they would like to give you instant access to the same file just in case there are things that you need to edit na hindi po kailangang ang isang file lang ay naandun or lahat ng information ay nasa isang file lang. Halimbawa, 1,500 yung inyong pictures. Nilagay niyo siya dito, tapos naka-hide lang yung 1,499. Isa lang yung nakashow. What if you need to somehow make changes? Mahihirapan kang balikan yon. This one, they separate every data, every information of a single student or a single employee into a separate file that will actually enable you to make any adjustment that you want, provided that there are changes to be made. Okay pa. Okay, so medyo mabilis daw po ng konti yung sa part ng picture. Balikan ko lang po saglit before po tayo mag-activity file. I'll click on open. I'll click on new file, new. For example, okay, I'll just use international paper po para mabilis. Setup. Kanina po, ganito lang yung ginawa natin. Yung background, double click ko lang po siya, in-unhide ko po siya or inunlock ko po siya. So, for example, this is a picture. Gumawa po ako ng new layer, new layer. Okay? Here. Tinago ko lang po halimbawa yung ID. Ang ginawa ko lang po, hindi po ako nag-draw ng rectangle. Ito commonly nagiging ginagawang practice. Nagdo-draw po ng rectangle. No, ang gagamitin nyo po is this, the marquee tool. For example, nag-set kayo. Ito yung size ng picture. Depende sa ID. Okay. Once nakapag-select na po kayo, you right-click at the center and then you click on stroke. Ito po ay borders. Stroke. Okay, there. Color is black. Ang width po, depende sa inyo, but common is 5 pixels. And I'll click on okay. There we go. Kung napansin nyo po, meron lang po akong isang maliit na box doon. Yan. Sa isang empty layer. Yun po ang ginawa ko dito. Ito pong box na to. Pero technically, that's just a basic empty layer na nilagay ko po dito. Okay po. Kaya nga lang, gumawa po tayo ng replacement. Kaya once na-replace, instead of a mere just box, naging photo po siya, yung layer ng photo. Okay po. Ayan, question. Sir, pag nag-change ba kami ng data dun sa aming Excel file, will it apply? Siya po ba ay magli-link na doon? Honestly, hindi ko po siya na-try kung kapag nagpalit kayo ng data. But technically, kung ang information po ninyo presented ay okay na, and ang kailangan nyo pong palitan, for example, nagkamali po ng pangalan kay Joe, instead of Joe, that's Josie. Instead of creating or updating this one, or creating a sets of IDs again, you're going to open the file for Joe. Okay? Ito po yung aming suggestion. Joe, para hindi na po kayo dadaan sa mahabang proseso agad, and just make an manual edit for this one. Then save it as a new file name. Okay po. So, another question here. Okay, paano po gawin ang layer sa Photoshop? So, it's layer, new layer. And click on layer, it will create a new layer. Paano po sinave yung ID? Again, it's a file. Instead of just save or save as, ang ginagamit po natin is import and datasets as files. Okay po. So, I think medyo mabigat po siya ng konti. Ano po, ulitin lang po natin ang process na ginawa ko ha. Choosing a blank layer, okay, the ID. Nag-draw lang po ako dito using a marquee tool ng isang box. Then, nag-type po ako ng name. Dito po, name, registration number, PSED, mail. Ito pong barcode. May nagtatanong po, sir, paano po yung barcode? Paano po siya na-insert? Hindi po ba, ang ginawa ko lang dito is, and text po siya na pag i-convert nyo po into barcode using this style. Halimbawa, binili ko siya sa Arial. Ang mangyayari po, si Joe de la Cruz po ito. Okay pa. Pero kapag siya po ay naka-barcode, siya po ay itsura barcode. Now, as you can see, huwag pong masyado or magalat po kayo ng medyo mas malaking space dito for the barcode. Kasi probably hindi siya agad ma-cover. But for the demonstration, again, siya po ay convert lang natin into a barcode using this one, the free. Okay. Alright, 3 of 9 extended. So, naandun po siya. Ilagay ko lang po siya doon for the sake of demonstration. But then again, for some scanners that it won't work, you are always have the option to look for barcodes that will be working for your barcode scanner. And also, if you would like to have it QR code, meron pong extension, mahaba-habang proseso po. For those who are already on the field na gumagawa po ng ID, and the question is, sir, what if we have QR code instead of barcode? Meron pong extension for barcode. Commonly dito po, meron po ditong barcode option. So it's an extension na dina-download po for Photoshop na pwede nyo pong magamit. Kaya lang, for the meantime, it will take so much time para po i-cover natin siya. So what I'll be doing for the meantime is just use a simple barcode here, but you always have an option to modify it right after the training. So as long as you know the concept and how it works, then definitely it will be working fine for you. Sir, what if yung QR code ko po is sinave ko po as a JPEG? Ganun din po yung process po na ginawa natin for picture, that it will be replaced by pixels. Then that's basically the same process that you are going to do para po makagawa kayo ng QR code. Okay po. I think 5 minutes. Kaya mo ng 5 minutes yun? Medyo mabigat-bigat po ng konti, but I will be giving you a few minutes po para mag-work po dun sa ating ID. Though medyo mabigat po siya ng konti, honestly, and it will require you practice to master that one. At least we were able to provide you with the concept on how you are going to do that. So if you are already on the field of printing, for example, and gumagawa na rin kayo ng ID before, kasi honestly, kapag nakakakita po ako ng mga artist, ng mga nag-o-offer na sila yung gagawa ng ID for the school. Commonly, I was wondering, sir, bakit kaya kailangan tumagal ng isang buwan para makagawa ng ID for 500 students? And when I checked, minamanual po nila yung replacement ng data using Adobe Photoshop. Kaya po nagtatagal. So replace the file, replace the data, tapos save as 1, tapos next ID, save as 2, and it will take them forever. Kaya bago nila matapos yun. So using this concept, you will be able to create and prepare IDs for many students and many employees using the variables. Okay pa. So you may have 5 minutes probably to work on this. Okay, I'll be giving you 5 minutes.
Ayan, sir. Napakaganda niyan, sir, no? So, I think yung lahat ng activity natin ngayon ay talagang maaaring magamit to ng mga teachers, educators, instructors. And, of course, possible din gamitin ng other field, no? Other professionals natin. Ayan. And, sir, siguro may advice ako. Kunyari, nakapag-generate ka na ng mga PSD, meron din kasing tayong online converter. So,
Yes, sir.
wherein idadrag mo lahat ng PSD mo doon and then click mo lang yung convert, mako-convert siya, magiging JPEG na siya lahat instead of
Ayan,
manually mo siya
apo. Yes, sir.
pupuntahan. So, that is another suggestion from me naman na pwede nyong gawin. So, marami yun. Punta lang kayo sa Google, type nyo PSD to JPG or PSD to PNG kung ano mang file type yung gusto ninyo. So, that is the idea. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, ang daming PSD nun, isa-isend
Yes,
mo
sir.
siya, tapos isa-save as JPEG mo. So, it will take a lot of time for you, di ba, to save all of those IDs. So, ang propose ko dyan is i-drag nyo dun sa platform, yung online platform, upload, and then convert JPEG. And again, syempre, for data privacy, kayo na pong bahalang mag-judge kung kung siya, hindi ganun ka-sensitive yung ina-upload ninyo, no? Mm. Kasi as we
Yes,
know,
sir.
syempre, pag in-upload niyo sa system, nare-record yan dun sa kanilang mga systems. And basically, kung may sensitive data yan, hindi namin ini-encourage na gawin yon. Pero, it's up to you po. Pero maraming way kung paano siya i-automate pa hindi kayo mahirapan. Kasi parang, kung mapapansin nyo dun sa discussion, baka mamaya magreklamo na, ay, ang daming isi-save. So, kung 1,000 yan, is 1,000 beses kung bubuksan isa-isa yung file para lang ma-convert into JPEG or kung ano mang file type. So, maraming online converter sa Google po. Pakitype nyo na lang. So, basta PSD, Photoshop, document to JPG or
Yes,
kung ano
sir.
mang file type. Ayan.
Apo. So
Ayan.
reminder lang sa kanila, just make sure po na hindi nyo maiwawala yung PSD file when you convert that into JPEG. Baka po kasi mabura, ay just in case may gusto kayong balikan, palitan ng data, mas madali po siyang palitan pabalik doon. And also, regarding po doon sa sinabi ng Sir Ed, napakaganda po noon kung talagang mabilisan ang gusto. Kaya nga lang po, marami pong available, so pili tayo ng pinakamaganda sa tingin nyo. Kung alin yung posible nyong magamit na work doon sa mismong gusto nyong gawin. Tulad nga po ng sabi ng Sir, kung siya po ay 1,000 and you would like to save it or save as JPEG, medyo matagal-tagal nga po yun. Pero using those programs, yes sir, thank you Sir Ed for raising that. Meron pong available programs to easily convert them into JPEG, like what Sir Ed said.
Ayan. So, I hope na-appreciate nila, no? So, I think ang
Yes
dami
sir.
ring na-appreciate nung animation mo, sir, kasi they want to create their own animation, eh. So, yun yung problema. Ang hirap kasi usually gumawa nun. So, ito basic animation na pwede pang ilagay sa PowerPoint. No po? Ayan. So, I think mas gustong-gusto yan ng mga teachers natin. Ayan po.
Okay po, so, yes sir.
Sige, sir. Go ahead po.
Okay po, for those who are working on the ID, meron po akong in-upload dyan na ID na rin po yung sample ID. So instead of creating a new file po for the ID, I suggest for the meantime, for the sake of training, use the same file po, yung ID sample. Ang size po nun is 3.5 by 5. Ngayon, nalalaki na ng ID na, especially for government, para kita-kita tayo. So use 3.5 by 5 po dyan. So yun na lang po muna ang i-edit natin. And later on, you can customize the sizes of the ID depending on your preference if you already know the process. Okay, so technically for everyone's information, these are very useful things about Photoshop na magagamit po natin. Sabi nga po kanina, it's either you're a teacher, you work for a company, or ano mang ginagamitan mo ng Photoshop, magagamit niyo po siya. However, later, if your intent actually is to earn something from Photoshop, it's either you earn or you use it for personal use. We're going to talk about many topics about the actual design process, yun pong graphic artist or visual graphics nating tinatawag. And basically, these informations as well, together with the information that you will get from the second session, will be very useful for you. It's either, again, for personal use, or if you would like to start a business or something na profitable on your end, pwede niyo po siyang magamit. So I will be asking everyone, again, please stay with us hanggang matapos po natin yung 6 hours natin, and hopefully I'll be providing you with all of the possible informations that we can provide para po magamit nyo. Apo. Patience lang po. Though ang Sunday po ito, still, salamat po kasi you were able to join us, and please stay with us up to the end kasi napakarami pa pong information na gusto namin ibigay sa inyo para sulit yung pagsama niyo po sa amin sa webinar. Okay po, hopefully meron pong nakagawa ng ating ID sample. For those who are practitioners, again sir, for the QR code, medyo mahaba-haba po siyang discussion, but for the meantime, you may use barcode. Pero QR code, would save again as JPEG, will work basically the same with the picture process na ginawa po natin kanina. Okay, question sir, are there images na pwedeng ma-download as PSD file na kagad po? Actually po meron, marami po tayong available images sa online. Usually ang ginagamit ng mga nagsa-search is yung image na gusto nyong i-search, then PSD, para po mga extension niya is the PSD file. Normally, ang mga lumalabas po sa search ay PSD files. Majority of the pictures are actually free for personal use. Meron lang pong ilang na kailangan yung i-mention or ang author. Pero those which are premium, hindi nyo naman po siya basta-basta na-download. So look for free data or free pictures na pwede nyo pong magamit personally if you would like to use those files. Okay, si Ma'am Sheena May. Okay, sir, nakagawa po ko ng ID. Sumabay po ko sa inyo, sir, ng demo. Very interesting. Hopefully po, magamit po natin to sa school. Kung medyo gusto nyo po ipapastar kayo ng konti sa school, sir, ako din gagawa ng ID natin. Ganito po kadami. Give me an hour and I'll give you your 500 IDs. Okay, so regarding po printing of IDs, there are special printers designed for printing of ID and PVC. Okay, marami pong ganyan. There are online groups as well na maraming itinuturo na tutorials regarding the printer. So I suggest you look for groups po in Facebook na may mga ganyang tutorials po if you are planning to create or to start business printing IDs like this. Okay po, sir. Again, dito po tayo. Image, you click on variables. Okay, sir, but wala po yung variable at saka po yung datasets. Variables po will appear if you created the text first. And once you save as your data into text tab delimited, nagkakameron po kayo din ng option dito para ma-import po yung inyong variables as well as your datasets. Ano pa? Okay, so technically, we're going to switch to topics that are mostly relevant and associated with graphic design. So just in case po, meron pong part na hindi agad natin nasundan sa ngayon, again, I'll be providing you all the files that you need, including the project file later, para po makita niyo yung properties sa mga files ko. Ilalagay ko po yan lahat sa ating drive. And at the same time, pictures po, photos, files na ginamit ko po, lahat po ay naandun sa ating pictures. And sabi nga po ng Sir Ed, a recorded version of this webinar will be provided to you as well para po masundan niyo ulit siya later. So, kompleto po yun. Nandun yung materials, nandun yung programs, nandun din po yung process, pati po video process na ginagawa natin. And another one, ulitin ko po we suggest that if you will be actually using Photoshop, you subscribe for a license one para po wala kayong maging problema. At the same time, lahat po ng updates ni Photoshop ay magkakameron kayo. So kung gagamitin siya for business, probably mas maganda po yun kasi mga bagong features po ay may ibibigay po sa inyo. Okay. So I think, sir, I'll be discussing one more topic before we proceed to the visual graphics process. Ano pa? Ito po brief lang. Konti lang po siya. I think after this, mas maganda po makapag-break po tayo ng konti bago po tayo mag-proceed sa mga topics. Ulit po, yung mga susunod pong topics, simple lang sila, pero this could be something na pwede nyo maging business. So, share ko po siya sa inyo. Okay. Halimbawa po ito. Ito pa. Ayan. Ayan. For example, ganito. Ganito po yung nangyayari sa totoong buhay. If you are a graphic artist and someone hire you to make some job for them, ganito po yung kadalasan na nagiging proseso. Pwedeng lahat, pwedeng package, pwedeng isa lang. But then again, for this part, we're going to cover as much as possible. Lahat kayo yung gagawa. So, isa business. Halimbawa, okay, sige. Balikan ko lang. For example, topics on visual graphics design. It's the company name. For example, company name is CP Complete Package Smartphones. Yun po halimbawa yung pangalan nila. Another one, ano yung produkto nila? Cellphones and accessories. Meron silang promo. Ang gusto nila is 50% discount on selected items. And bawat purchase nila po, dapat may Bluetooth headset na libre. So, ang gusto lang ni company sa inyo, sir, gawan nyo kami ng logo, okay, ng mag-a-identify sa amin as CP Complete Package Smartphones. Yung pag tinignan mo ang logo, kami yon. Hindi yung common na logo na pwedeng mapagkamalan na iba. Ang aming ibinibenta ay smartphones and accessories. Commonly, ang smartphones po and accessories, meron ng sariling packaging, right? So, hindi mo sila gagawa ng packaging for the company kasi yung mga cellphones nila, may mga boxes na talaga yan. Meron silang promo, 50% discount on items kaya they will be opening. And ang previous nila, Bluetooth headset. Though may box na siya, ang gusto ni company, gusto kong gumawa ng isang box na free siya, pero hindi ko gagamitin yung box ni supplier ko, but instead, gagawa ako ng isang box mismo para sa akin, a personalized box for our company na naandun sa loob yung Bluetooth or Bluetooth headset na pag binigay mo sa customer, makikita nila, okay, it came from our CP Complete Package Smartphones store. Ayan. So, pinagagawa ka rin nila. Sabi nila, sir, ang gusto ko lang 2 by 3 by 2 inches. Para maliit lang siya. Kasya na naman yung headset na maliit doon kasi it's the one, yung maliit lang. Hindi po yung mismong headphone mismo. And para rin kasya siya doon sa mga A4 or short band paper or photo paper kasi yun lang gusto namin gamitin. And a brochure, gusto kong i-promote yung aming mga products as well as makikita nila doon na merong headset palang libre at 50% discount na medyo catchy. Plus, yung data ng aking mga smartphones ay naando na rin. So pag binigay namin siya doon, magiging interested yung buyer or yung customer na pumunta sa store namin and look for those phones. Aside from that, ito medyo advanced na po siya. Hopefully, ito yung makover pa rin natin. Gusto kong mag-design para sa akin ng isang simple website. Okay, ito yung mga gusto namin mangyari. And ito yung gagawin natin. So, it's a job, right? Una, ang gagawin mo, pinagagawa ka nila ng logo. Okay? Ang logo, ang tagline commonly nanggagaling sa kanila. So, kung may tagline sila, ibibigay nila sa'yo. Yung packaging ng Bluetooth, so gagawin mo siya from scratch, gagawa ka ng design para mabuo mo siya. Yung brochure mo, trifold. So, paano mo masisigurado na siya ay mahahati sa 3 ng pantay-pantay at paano mo siya may design ng maayos in a single paper pero trifold siya yung dating. Paano siya magmumukhang 3D style na catchy yung dating sa mga customer. And also, you're going to create a simple web page, for example. Okay. So, halimbawa, ako yung kinondition ni CP Complete Package Smartphones. Ang gagawin ko po, gagawa ako, una, it's conceptualization. When you conceptualize, nag-iisip ka ng idea kung paano mo gagawin yung idea or kung paano ka makakapag-provide ng service that will fit para dun sa gusto ni customer. Sabi nila, gusto ko ng logo, ng packaging, ng brochure, tapos ng webpage pa. Eh, medyo madami yun. So, ang una, first few days, actually, you will be going to create conceptualization. So, medyo matagal siya ng konti. For the sake of the activity, ibibigay ko muna po sa inyo yung isa na na-conceptualize ko para yun na lang po muna ang gamitin natin. So, for the meantime, siya po yung idea ko, ginawa ko siya. Pero later, kung makakameron kayo ng mga customer or mga client na gusto magpagawa, depending on their preference, as long as you know the process, kaya nyo po siyang magawa. Okay pa. So, start na po tayo. So, una, conceptualization. Isipin kung ano yung gusto ni customer, paano ko siya gagawin. And magdo-drawing muna po kayo. Halimbawa, ito, yan. Kita nyo po yan. So, gusto ko logo. Sabi niya, I want a logo na may smartphones, pero madidistinguish pa rin kami as CP. Complete Package Smartphones. So, ang ginawa ko, ganito. Sa drawing ko, sa idea, gagawa ko ng isang black na bilog. Merong image na ng white smartphone sa loob. Ating ko siya sa gitna para in that way, magmumukha siyang C at magmumukha siyang P. Sir, kaso puputulin ko siya dito. Para hindi masyadong halata na pinutol ko siya dito, lalagyan ko siya ng text na CP. And this will be the logo. Later on, gagawin natin siya. Yung idea ko na C at saka P, tapos may CP dito sa gilid para hindi magmukhang putol, ay the idea of the logo that I would like to work for them. Kung napapansin niyo po, ang logo kadalasan, especially for those company na malalaki, mas preferred nila yung black and white logo na simple lang over emblem o yung mga highly complicated logos. Ako personally, tinignan ko talaga sila. Ang common logos ng mga malalaking company are those simple logos. So, babalik din po tayo doon. Simple logo lang din po yung gagawin natin. But if you would like to make it somehow complicated later, you will be able to apply it. That's fine. Okay, logo. Now, gagawa ako ng packaging. Sabi nila gusto nila ay short bond paper. Ito lang yung short, 8.5 by 11. Pero this time, gusto nila is 2 by 2 at 2 by 3 by 2. So, 3 po yung kanyang height and yung width at saka ang length niya is 2. So, this is 3 inches, 2 inches po papunta doon, 2 inches po yan lahat. Then this one, yung over, gusto ko 1 inch lang siya. And eto, commonly nakikita niyo sa mga lalagyan ng mga product. For example, commonly nakikita natin sa lalagyan po ng gamot. Yan. Ganito. Meron po siyang ganito na tinutupi, tapos kino-cover po yun sa taas. So, in my calculations, since mula dito hanggang doon is 8.5, ang gusto ni customer ay 2 by 3. Kinuwenta ko siya, 2, 3, then another 2, tapos may 0.5, may 0.5. Magkakasya po siya sa 8.5 by 11, sa 8.5. So, technically, that's 8 mula doon hanggang doon. Tapos meron pa ako ditong allowance sa 0.25 sa gilid. Para pag ginagawa ko, eto, yan. Eto naman po, 3 inches po siya papunta dito, di ba? Eto po, 2 plus 2, that's 4, plus 2, that's 6, plus 2, that's 8, plus 1 more inch, that's 9. So, ibig sabihin po, 11 po siya. Di ba? 11. Meron pa po akong allowance na tig 1 inches dun sa gilid. So, ilalagay ko na lang po siya sa sentro. Pwede pong mas maliit dito, mas malaki doon kasi i-utilize natin ang short bond paper or short photo paper. Pero ako, preferably, mas gusto kong nakasentro siya. So, I'll give them 1, I'll give them another 1 inch para po utilize ko talaga. 0.25 sa taas, 0.25. This is a drawing. Sir, ano po yung drawing na yan? Ako pa drawing yan. Ganito po ako gumagawa ng mga um, ideas. So, okay lang na magulo siya, provided na maiintindihan nyo. So, nandun yung sizes. Ang gusto ko lang, it's a logo here, logo ng kumpanya. Image here, nung Bluetooth headset, tas yung promo. Halimbawa po ay free for every purchase na andito. So, eto, at saka po eto, parehas lang po ng laman. Ito naman pong sa gilid, gusto ko lagyan ng features. Ano ba yung features ng logo or ng headset na meron ako? So, yung headset na Bluetooth headset na yan, ilalagay ko yung specifications dito. Okay, commonly sa taas po, ang inilalagay po is logo. Or nasa ilalim naman po, ang inilalagay wala lang, flat. Kasi pag tinayo mo yung box, wala namang makikita yun sa gilid. Ang makikita lang po yung the four sides and the one at the top. So commonly, yun po ang nilalagyan natin ng sizes or ng images. And next, pinagawa po ako ng brochure. Gusto nila trifold. So ito yung aking concept. Ito yung labas. Diba, nandito yung promo. Bago nyo siya, ito, later po, papakita ko sa inyo once na-finalize po yung ganito. This is the promo. Ito yung una nilang makikita. Tapos number 2, ito yung nasa loob. Ang 6 po yung pinakalikod, kaya po siya map. Tapos pag nakabukas po siya, magkakasabi po ang 3, 4, and 5. So, ang gusto ko lang, this is the promo. Ano yung meron? Bestseller namin. Ano yung pinakamagandang phones na meron kami, plus the specs. Tapos ano pa yung mga smartphones na meron kami na available. Okay pa. So, papakita ko siya kay client. Then, ilalayout ko muna siya. Then, ipapakita ko sila kay client. And another one is, this is a website, for example. Ganyan kagulo po yung website. So, ito yung aking logo, company name. So, these are the tabs or clickable options or links. Meron ako isang malaking image dito. Tapos dito sila magsa-search ng mga products na meron kami. And the details po. Contact details, for example. And some other clickable here like about us, sign in, and help. So, these are simple ideas na pag meron na kayo, pwede nyo siyang i-convert into something na magagamit nyo talaga as a business. So later on, iisa-isahin po natin sila ang pag-aralan. Kaya lang po, Sir Ed, okay lang po ba na mag-break muna tayo before tayo mag-proceed dun sa first topic natin for the logo? Yes, sir. Kailangan nung madami ng kain dito. Apa. Yes, sir. So while on break, apa. While on break, sir, pwede nilang i-browse halimbawa po yung folders po na binigay natin sa kanila, yung packaging at saka po yung brochures, etc. Ito, marami pong mga files dyan. Technically, kung wala pa po kayo, I suggest i-download po natin habang break or kung meron naman po kayo, you may visit those files kasi yun po ang ating gagamitin mamaya. Kung okay lang sa kanila, sir, 12:45 probably kung kaya.
Sige sir, kahit 12:45, opo. Pwede nyo rin naman pong i-leave lang tong room or tong Google Meet natin na naka-join pa rin kayo. Basta naka-mute lang po para wala tayong maging distraction sa iba din nating kasamahan dito sa loob ng ating Google Meet. So, mag-resume po tayo ng ating discussion mga 12:45. Ayan. Opo. Ayan. So, eat well
Yes,
po.
sir.
Happy lunch po. Opo, sa lahat.
At exactly 12:45, sir. Start po tayo. Okay
Opo,
po.
start po tayo ng 12:45. Yes po. Ayan. Sige po, bye-bye for now. Yung
Let's
may,
po.
ano lang po, pwedeng i-stack nyo lang dyan yung account. Ano lang, di naman mawawala to. You may also balik-balikan tong link na to. Same link pa rin po tayo. Ayan. Sige po, sir. Sir, ma'am, happy lunch po.